Hello LEGO fans, Bricks Unbound here for update number 50 in my Building Hogwarts series. Since we've hit another multiple of 10, it is time for a overview video of the progress so far. So let's go ahead, step back, and take a look at the current state of Hogwarts. So just a quick pan here, we've got our Great Hall, entrance courtyard, kitchens are below the Great Hall. Moving over is the Grand Staircase Tower, which has doubled in height since the last overview video. Hasn't had any changes since the last Grand Staircase Tower update video. Still has a modest interior down at the very base of it that needs to be built up much higher, but I think the height it's reached so far is looking pretty good. Just need to figure out how I'm going to do the spire to go on top for the roof. This next section over is the front section of the quad. So right now we have in this lower corner here is actually the troll's bathroom. So you can get I guess the girls' bathroom, but where the troll attacks. It swings open nicely, so it's easily accessible, which is something I need to do a little bit more on the builds. Floor above it doesn't have anything right now. I could see it maybe being the prefect's bathroom, though, if I end up, or when I end up building that. We just got Moody traversing his way through the castle down there. There does need to be a walkway that comes out just a little bit from here, and then it kind of continues around and meets up over here at the Great Hall, or at the exterior of the Great Hall. And even a little path that will run on this side of the entrance hall and entrance courtyard that meets up with the viaduct bridge, which takes us over here to the viaduct entrance hall. Yes, the bridge is obviously too high right now, but once everything gets elevated up in rockwork, I'll make it match up with that height at least. But there's a stone bridge that also lets you get over here. We've got Luna and a Thestral hanging out there for now. And this is the viaduct entrance hall. So over the last year I did redo the front of it, mainly just for these two columns to bring them out like 2 studs, I think, to give it a much better look. Also let me get those torches added in there that I just completely skipped on the first go around. The main floor does not have any new interior details. I'm still thinking the staff room is going to be on one side here. Other side is as of yet undecided, but there's a couple rooms there. Above that, on the left side here, is the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom, not even close to being done. And the other side is potentially going to become Moaning Myrtle's bathroom, but no real interior details there either. I also redid some of these towers over the past year as far as how they attach to the separate floors, because they actually, if you lift off the floors, will come with it. You can see they're divided there with a row of tiles. So they just set down in the modular building style. Also, I believe last time I showed these, they still had a design like that, where it's straight panels and then just hinges holding them together instead of the more rounded look you can get with these alternating bricks and cylinder pieces. I like this look much more, so I will, or I'm planning at least on getting that redone as well. I also did a little more work just on the roof here to get it more covered up. I need some more of these angled slope pieces. They're just not very many. I think they only came in 1 or 2 sets ever in dark bluish gray, and they're like expensive to get individual ones. So even though I only need a few of them, so 2 to finish up this side, and then I guess another 6 for the other side, I don't have them yet, because I need to find a Bricklink store that is selling other things I need and those. So it's not just a single order for like 2 parts, but I guess if I have to do that, I have to do it. Moving on down, this section here is the library for the upper level. Here's a look in from above. We'll be able to see a little bit better when we're around on the other side of the tables. Below it is the Charms classroom. Again, it would require me removing the upper floor, but there is a separate video on the Charms classroom that you can take a look at. And from there over here, we have the long gallery section of the castle. The utmost floor here that I'm about to pull apart, let's not do that. is just a walkway. You can see it goes all the way down towards the bell towers. So not much there. The floor below it is more basic types of classrooms, so it'll be like history of magic, Muggle studies, arithmancy, the ones that we didn't really see in the movies to give them a distinctive look. There'll also be a couple of just empty classrooms in there, because you also need some empty classrooms for, you know, Harry to hide in as he's wandering the castle at night, or for Peeves to wreak some destruction in. And the lower floor here is where currently there's the Transfiguration classroom. Again, a separate video on that, so I'm not going to pull it apart for this update. The other half doesn't have anything in it right now. It's just a big open empty space. So that is still to be determined. And then that brings us to the bell towers, which just still look great in my opinion. It's unfortunate that it's hard to get around this into the room, but here they are. So over the last year, I did expand the central section here, made it a little bit wider, which let the rough section here actually line up with the rest of the long gallery. There's a gap right there right now, because I need to do a little bit of rebuilding still, because as you can see, the edge of this kind of column sticks out too far and runs into the long gallery roof. So I need to just fix that up a little bit. Should be relatively simple, I think, but everything always takes longer than expected. As I said, still very, very happy with how these towers turned out. I've started building a little hallway section here that runs along the Transfiguration courtyard down below, which is the newest addition to Hogwarts, since I just never had a table there for a very, very long time, but finally made an IKEA trip a month and a half ago or so. Managed to get that table so I could start work on the courtyard. Very plain right now. Thank you to everybody who was giving the suggestions in the previous videos about ways to spruce it up. Obviously it wasn't meant to be a completed state in that last update. That was just kind of the one of the introductory sections to show you the progress on it so far. But lots of good suggestions for using some like different colors of green and interspersing maybe some like rounded tiles and things to make pathways in there. All of those sound like pretty good options to me. And the astronomy tower is sticking up in the middle here, and that is also a completely new addition over the past year. You can see it's got hinged bricks here on the side as well. It goes on either side, but those swing open. Nothing in any of the floors right now, but they're ready for it. I've learned my lesson from these other sections that I can't see the interior of unless I take off the roof. So that is another potential project, specifically for the Great Hall. I guess I'll backtrack a little bit to walk down here. But would be to actually, it's going to be real tricky, but try to find some way to put a hinge in here so the walls can actually just open out. The alternative way, I guess, would just be so these aren't attached like going in, so then I could just lift off the side. That would be an easier way to do it. I just have to figure out how I want to do the supports, because the roof section is very heavy, so having it sturdy is important. Alright, back over to the astronomy tower then. Obviously lots more height needs to be added on. There's lots of other little towers and turrets and openings and things all around the top section of this tower. So I need to figure out exactly how I want to do the building of that. I already have some ideas for fixing this section here, which isn't quite how I wanted it to look. It's close, but not quite there. We'll circle around the back now. So all of this remains unchanged with the Great Hall, including the lack of chimney on the back, which wasn't there the last time I did a, I guess for update number 40 either. And I just still haven't done it. I just never think about it until I'm doing these updates and walking around this side, because most of the time I have like sets and things piled in this space and just kind of walk by and not get a good look at it. But I am still fairly happy with how this looks overall. There are some parts, some features that might be a little blocky as far as how these little window pieces are built, but I think it still works okay. There is a gap there because these tables are not quite level. Maybe if I end up doing like swinging sections on the other side, I can reconfigure how the entrance hall part is attached to the Great Hall and make it all just one piece instead of having the front half kind of slide onto it. So there's another future project. Now we're getting around to the quad, which will have a big courtyard here, if I had space. So I still need to figure out exactly how I'm going to do that, if I can do some reconfiguring of how things are displayed, or what exactly, because I really want to keep building like the rest of the castle back. I just don't have the space for it right now. Looking over here, again, side of the quad, once I get figure out a spacing way to do it, this is where like the challenges from the Sorcerer's Stone / Philosopher's Stone will be. So Fluffy has taken up residence on the 3rd floor corridor already, although he's going to be able to get out pretty easily. He's probably a safety hazard there. Empty rooms here. With the tower there, it's not easy to access these, even if I mean, I can't do the swinging doors thing, so not sure what's going to be here. It'd be another good spot for the prefix bathroom if I don't end up putting it down where this window is, but that's kind of where I was thinking, so we can access it from the other side. Here's the back of that stone bridge. And here we can see into the library a little bit better. I'm still pretty happy with how those shelves and everything look in there. Just need to expand it because it will keep coming this way. There's a kind of half of the library that's almost a mirror of the other side that will be here. I need to figure out how its spacing is going to work up against the astronomy tower and transfiguration courtyard, but there'll be something down here. This might be where I end up putting the trophy room. I experiment a little bit with different types of like picture frame type things, I guess, or portrait frames. Not entirely happy with it, but it's all a work in progress. And then in the center here, once this gets built up to the height of the library, then from this spot up will be where I'm going to put the Ravenclaw Tower. That has, of course, changed in between movies quite a bit. And the first couple of movies, this central tower here ended up being kind of round, and they had round sections off to the side. But then in later movies, they changed it to be a square tower. So then it doesn't really match up with the description of Ravenclaw Tower anymore, because in the books, the common room inside and everything is described as circular. So maybe I'll just have to build a circular thing inside of a square tower and just have some dead space in the corners, but we'll see how that works. But yeah, speaking of things they changed between movies, this courtyard, as people did point out in previous videos, and I believe I mentioned before, it's going to be kind of a mix of the courtyards between the various movies, because in movie 4, there's a tree here, which is where Malfoy gets turned into a ferret, but in movies, maybe even 5, but for sure 6, they decided, oh, we need the astronomy tower to be there so we can have spoilers. If you haven't seen Harry Potter or read the books, you should probably not be watching this video. But they needed a big tower here for a big dramatic fall of Dumbledore, so they put it there. Even though it wasn't there before. It was a much smaller tower at one point, and I think Prisoner of Azkaban, they had Sirius locked in a tower in approximately this location. So, it's kind of hand wavy on their consistency between the different films. And that brings us to the end of this update, really. This is what the main focus of, especially the last half of the year, has been this corner here. And then, like I said, I did a lot of touch-ups and reworks of other places. I mentioned the front here. I guess I forgot to mention the entrance hall courtyard got completely reworked as well. As far as just those archways in there, I completely changed how those were built. I think this does look a lot better than the previous versions. But I believe we have now covered the whole of Hogwarts. It's fun to just actually sit and look at it sometimes. But big challenges still to come with the roofing over things, and then also elevating things up on rock work, the amount of pieces that's going to take is just going to be pretty ridiculous. But I would like to kind of get an idea of how that's going to work, so I can have you know, Chamber of Secrets in there, potions, classrooms, just general dungeons for Filch to wander around in. Please let me know what you think of the progress so far. Oh, greenhouse also got added. I think I skipped over that. So, quick look at that. Some missing pieces. I might have to scale it back some because there's supposed to be, you know, a bunch of these around. But now we're actually at the end of the video. That covers all of it. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Please keep coming back for more videos, and thank you for watching.